So we'll be bringing you coverage of the RNC throughout the week. Today it is basically just going to be a in name only type of day over there, and we're going to check in with our correspondent on the ground, Luke Vargas from Talk Radio News Service. He seems to be near the Google Central area, which, as he moves back, I can see that it is handicap accessible. There is a ramp there leading up to it. Luke, what's going on down in Tampa?
Okay, well, here in Tampa, we've had a few days of darkness and rain, and finally, the sun is breaking through here. Everyone thought they'd have to basically have a washout the whole week, but things are taking a turn for the better here.
Okay, so now, of course, I'm sure that it's being discussed there, since Republicans very quick to say that Hurricane Katrina was a sign from God, and of course, the tornadoes were a sign from God. Clearly, the threat of Hurricane Isaac also must be a sign from God that God is angry with the RNC. Was that at the top of the list at today's briefing?
Yeah, there was a briefing this morning, and the room was packed full of reporters who I think were trying to get some new information about how the schedule might change, if certain speakers might be swapped on given nights. And one of the spokespersons for the convention came out and said there are going to be three main topics we're discussing at this meeting. The first was the storm, and he essentially said we're going to have a 3-day convention instead of a 4-day convention. A few speakers will be switched, but we're planning on going forward as was discussed yesterday on Sunday evening. And the other two topics were a lot less important. They talked about how inside the convention center at the forum here, there's going to be two different debt clocks. One, which is the standard one you see behind Mitt Romney during his campaign events that shows the total United States national debt. And the other one will be a new debt clock that begins to count upward as soon as the convention is convened. And I would presume that Mitt Romney, when he's giving his keynote speech, will point over to the screen and say, look at the rate of the debt accumulating, and isn't that a terrible thing?
Yeah, now I'm sure in the interests of fairness, right next to that, there will be a clock which will show if George W. Bush was still president and we had his rate of debt acceleration, here's how much it would have accelerated during this speech. But of course, I think they're probably not going to have that.
I wouldn't bet on it. And the final topic they talked about was that this fancy television screen that is going to be behind the podium on the stage, which is supposedly inspired by Frank Lloyd Wright, they're going to do a special 10-minute presentation that showcases all the incredible technological feats and tricks it can do. So not very pressing things. I think people were pretty much going there just to hear about the storm news, and they got a whole bunch of extra stuff.
All right, so admittedly, things getting started a little bit slowly today. But we'll check in with you tomorrow. Luke Vargas, Talk Radio News Service, one of our correspondents on the ground in Tampa at the Republican National Convention. I hope there's enough guns there to keep you safe, Luke. I am worried about you.
Yeah, I'll watch out. The NRA is just upstairs.
Okay, sounds good. We'll talk to you tomorrow.